So today you join me with my new project. It's a Toyota MR2. It's from 1991 and it has the 2-litre petrol engine. It's a non-turbo, but I think, if I recall correctly, it's the fastest MR2 without a turbo that you can get in this particular model. This one here has a few things wrong with it. It's a bit of a project. It needs an ignition wire, coolant sensor, upper timing cover. The gear mechanism is stuck. The cam cover leaks oil. It's got exhaust issues, heat shield and bolt issues. The handbrake, the calipers have seized. Clutch fluid is black. The driver's seat needs a repair. The bodywork is in terrible condition. It needs a fair bit of work. So what I'm going to do my best to do is give it the TLC that it deserves. And maybe consider my life choices while I do it. So I'm going to start by doing the brakes on this. So we're going to just remove the wheel. These are 21mm sockets. And now that the wheel is out of the way, we'll just remove the caliper. The caliper's only held on with one bolt. It's a 12mm. You slide it off the, you undo it from the bottom, and then it just pivots up and then slides in towards the wheel well, and it slides off the upper slide pin. So a very simple design. And now that we've got that bolt out of the way, we want to turn our attention to removing the handbrake mechanism. So there's a special little clip here at the back. You push it backwards. That pulls out pretty easily. And then we just knock out this little C-clip here. It's one of the bent tension style ones you'll see here. Nice and simple. That's one thing you'll learn with these cars. The engineering that goes into them is quite simple and it makes a fair bit of sense. Now, in order to get this off, you need to knock through that pin. I always try to tap it with a hammer a few times, but if it's kind of seized in there, you don't want to keep hitting it too much with the hammer in case you mushroom it, and then it would be even harder to get out. So at this stage, I just moved on to a drift. Now, it would probably help maybe to put a bit of WD-40 on it or wire brush off some of the debris. It didn't take me long to knock it through, maybe a minute or so. So now that that's out, we can relieve it, and you're better off. I had to give mine a couple of taps just to start knocking it loose. There we go. And then you pull it back and push it in towards the wheel well again. So you pull it back and then push it out towards the wheel well, and there you go, the cable's released. Now the cable's released, we want to remove our brake line. So we're going to start by removing the 12mm, or loosening it, that holds it to the wheel well. Then we'll break it loose, and then we'll remove our bolt that holds the line on the rest of the way. Easier to break it loose when it's held down by something, but it's nice to break everything loose first and then just remove it all. So what I like to do here is, once I've removed it, I hate to just let all the brake fluid drip out. So I've made up this little tool here which I put over the Hardline, and it just stops all the brake fluid going everywhere. And even if you were going to change your brake fluid and you want it all to drain out, I just find this a much cleaner way, and I don't get brake fluid all over my tools, which is something that I hate. Again here, just a little clip underneath the brake line. These brake lines are braided, so you can't pinch them off. You have to remove the whole thing. And there you go. And there's just one 14mm now on the caliper. This is the banjo bolt, which allows fluid to go through the middle of the bolt into the caliper. Has a copper crush washer on either side of it. And in order to pull it out through this opening at the top, you do have to remove the bolt. And then once the brake line is out of the way, we can finally remove the brake caliper. So quite simply, pivot it upwards, push it back. Easy peasy. And now all that is left to do here is remove the pad carrier, which is two 17s on the back. Not too tight on mine, but I imagine on some cars these might be super tight, might be breaker bar territory. And then once these two are out, just drop the pad carrier, and then all that's left to do is remove the disc. So that is the process to dismantle the entire rear brakes. If you've done this job before and you have any tips or tricks, don't be shy. Make sure you leave a comment down below, and maybe you'll be able to help somebody else out.